Hi there, welcome to Lucky Speaks. I thought I'd make a bit of a different video today. A little story going back a while, so outside of any statute of limitations, I'm sure. I was out in my car. I was a young man still, and I was driving along a dual carriageway in my local city, and as I approached a roundabout, a car that was alongside me decided to cut me up, and being it was a bit of an old banger and I'm a bit of a boy racer at heart, I decided that what I was going to do was I was going to cut him back up, whip in front of him and teach him a bit of a lesson. So he tried to pull over in front of me. I whipped round the inside of him, back in front, didn't really give it a thought, carried on up the road, and there was a bit of a stretch of dual carriageway which led to a flyover, a dual carriageway right over. You had some traffic lights before you got to the flyover bit. Once you went through the traffic lights, went over the top, there's a speed camera halfway across, and then he came down, he went round a couple of roundabouts, and then ended up at another set of traffic lights by what used to be called the Black Castle. Anyway, so I've done my bit. I'm now in front of this guy. I'm in the right hand lane of the dual carriageway. I pull up at the traffic lights. I was in the very first of the Vauxhall Calibers with a 24 valve Cosworth head on the car. It's a pretty quick car, and pull up behind me is this ratty old brown Ford Escort, and I could see in the car that there's a young lady driving, and next to her sat what I would have called at the time probably a thug, a skinhead guy, looked quite big, skinhead, and I thought, oh god, here we go. And around that time there was a lot of talk about these road rages where they pinch your car, they drag you out of the car, especially in that area, it's sunshine down there, and they pull you out of your car and then steal your car. So I thought, well, I'm not having that, I'll just go. I'm going to show them how fast the car is, but I've got to remember the speed camera. So when the lights changed, I floored it, disappeared, guy didn't know which way I went. Up over the top, slowed down for the speed camera, went through it, didn't go off, so I know I didn't hit over 50. Once got through, boom, off I went again, through a couple of sets of roundabouts, around to the next set of traffic lights, and I pulled up and I stopped. It's red, I stopped, no problem. And my first glance, nothing behind me, so great, lost him. Anyway, the light stayed red for a while, and obviously, lo and behold, this Ford Escort pulls up behind me, and so I grabbed a crook lock, the old crook locks you used to have to connect to between your steering wheel and your clutch pedal so nobody could drive your car. I grabbed that, got it in my lap, and I put my window down just enough that if I needed to, I could smash that straight through the window and into the face if anybody wants to try and attack me. Guy comes running up at the passenger side of the Escort, runs up to the side, and I'm expecting trouble. Runs up to the side, tries to get in my car, of course it's locked. Shouts at me to get out. I looked at him and went, F off. And he decided to turn around and then he said, well, I'm the police, so I don't believe you. So he got his warrant card out, flashed it. So I looked at him and went, alright, if you're police, I don't know what I've done, but get stuffed. So put the window back up, got out of the car, locked the car behind me, and he tried to take my keys off me. I told him to F off, and it's my car, he wasn't going to touch it, and if he wanted to search it, he'd need a warrant. And so he asked me to go sit in the back of this Ford Escort thing. So I went back, it's an unmarked car, it's not marked up. Went back, sat in the back of the car, and I kept the door open, kept your legs swinging out the door because I didn't want to get trapped in the car. And we're sitting there for a few seconds while he's on the radio, and all of a sudden there's cars everywhere, police cars everywhere, there's a helicopter above the top. And this guy is trying to tell me that he's going to stick me on for speeding. And I said, you can't stick me on for speeding. I was doing 50. No, you weren't, you shot away. You can't prove anything. You weren't behind me, you couldn't prove how fast I was going if you wanted to. So I was doing 50, that's the end of it. So he's trying to convince me he's going to do me, he's going to throw the book at me and all the rest of it. And I just said, look, I'll make a statement. So he thinks he's going to get me now. So the girl's writing down the notes in the front. And I said, right, I was proceeding along the, whatever road it was called. I knew it at the time, I don't know what it is now. And I was cut up by an idiot in a brown Escort. Due to being cut up, I had a superior car. I went round them, regained my space, carried on to the traffic lights, whereupon stopping I noticed that there was a thug behind me. He looked pretty evil, looked like a bit of a dipstick, and I wasn't going to be prepared to wait around for him to mug me because there's all these things going on locally. Therefore, when the lights changed, I made sure I accelerated away, my car being much faster than his. I got to 50 way faster than his little pile of crap, as evidenced by the fact the camera didn't go off. And I then proceeded to do the speed limit, whereupon I got to the next set of traffic lights. I stopped, he waited for a long time, and that gave the guy enough time to catch me up. He's fuming by this point, telling me he's going to stick me on, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. But in the meantime, like I say, all these other cars have turned up. So this traffic, presumably an inspector or something, comes running up to the car. Right, he said, right, what have you got him for? He said, what is it, 100 mile an hour? What is it? What's he done? What's he nicked? And the cop was sort of, oh, well, no, but he was speeding. And the cop said, well, you've called us all out, like, so it's an emergency, like, what's the emergency? And he said, well, you know, we think, I say he was speeding. And his mate turned around, and I could hear it all. It's so comical because I could hear it, what he said. His mate said, you're in an unmarked car, you can't nick him for speeding anyway. He said, you're not calibrated. He said, you can't tell what speed he's doing. You shouldn't be after speeders, that's not your job. And this guy's face is a picture now. He's upset. So I just started laughing, and guy said, so I can go then, can't I? And he's trying to tell, I still got, you'll hear from me. Well, yeah, whatever. Well, I've got in my car and drove off, left him to it. It was just, you know, one of those days. And it was just another experience of, you know, the great policing of the, I think that would have been the probably mid-90s, I would imagine, something like that. I had a lot of run-ins with the police, you know, in cars over the years. I'm not the slowest driver in the world. But you know, the law says they've got to actually prove, if they're going to make an allegation, they've got to prove that allegation, and luckily enough I was always able to prove their allegations were incorrect. Okay, hope you enjoyed that.